What's up, guys? How's everybody doing? Hope everybody is having an amazing Sunday. Hope y'all went to church. Hope you guys have had a fantastic day, man. Let's go ahead and get this started. All right. What's up, guys? What's up, guys? Get this started. Good to see everybody back again. Got another live. Muslims, why are you not Christians? I totally forgot to change the background. Let me make sure I change the background on this. Totally forgot to change the background on this. Make sure. There we go. Okay, there we go. It's a little better. All right. Now we're solid. Now we're good to go, man. What up, guys? Guest requests are open if y'all disagree. Y'all know what it is. Yeah, hopefully, Don. Hopefully. All right. Guest requests are open if y'all disagree, man. Make sure y'all ain't here double tapping the screen. I'm here early. For once, for real. About time. Hello?
Yo, hello.
What's going on?
I have a question.
Okay.
You know when Jesus said, "Pick up your cross and follow me" to the disciples?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, how did they understand what he meant? Because this was before.
Because he literally told them that he was gonna be unalived. Before that.
Yeah, but they didn't understand it.
What do you mean? Who said they didn't understand it?
Like, where can you show me a verse where?
You made the claim they didn't understand it. I'm asking, where do you see that from?
Sure, I can give you a verse, but I have to find it.
Okay, sure. Y'all said I'm echoing? All right, one sec, guys. Let me change. See, I don't know if it's me or not, but let me see. Let's see. My sound's been acting up lately. I have no clue why, but
for example, you know when Mary came to his tomb, and his body was not in the tomb, that he was raised, or that she said his body was stolen.
Bro, what?
Why
what does that have to do with what you just said about the cross, picking up your cross?
Yeah, because they didn't understand that he was.
Show me they didn't understand that statement.
That he was foretelling his death, or like a resurrection.
Bro, that's not what pick up your cross means. It doesn't mean freaking. It's not about the resurrection, bro. What are you talking about? Where do you
So
get
what
that
does it
from?
mean? So what does it mean?
It literally means that you're supposed to pick up the things that are your sins. Pick up your sins and walk. Like you're supposed to stop sinning. That's the entire point.
So what does the cross have to do with that?
Bro, because the cross, him dying on the cross was for all sins.
I know, but this was before he died on the cross. So how did they understand what he meant?
Bro, you're the one making the claim they didn't know. I'm saying they would have known because he literally said they unlocked their minds to the scriptures. Is that better, guys? Let me know on TikTok. Yeah, so he literally said they unlocked their minds to the scriptures. So why the frick wouldn't they know?
He unlocked their minds to the scripture.
Yes.
How?
What do you mean? How? He's God.
Okay, but yeah, I don't know what to say about that.
Do you actually have argument with evidence, or you just have random claims with no evidence?
Second. Let me just find the word. Just give me 1 second.
All right. We will wait. Probably won't find it, guys. Probably won't find anything. Well, while we wait, guys, make sure y'all request up if y'all want to come up. Guest requests are open. Make sure you guys are liking the live too while y'all are here. That soundboard, yeah. What's up, Sean? The current version can't stand up to the test of time. What? According to who? According to what?
Yeah, so it says the Son of Man will be Yeah, the Son of Man will be delivered into the hands of men. And then the verse after says they did not understand what he meant.
Yeah, that's a whole different verse. Like, what are you talking about? That's not the verse about picking up your cross.
You said that they knew that he was going to get crucified.
Yeah, after he said that I will raise my body up on the third day. Because he explained it after. He explained what the body he was talking about was, or the temple he was talking about was his body.
Okay, so fine. Okay, thanks for the answer.
All right, next. Brett said 38 viewers. No one cares about Christianity's 3 gods. Did you not know that we just started live like 5 minutes ago? Not even.
Hello, Nick. How you doing, man?
I'm good. What's going on?
Hey, bro, don't kick me real quick, but I'm a Christian, but I got one question real quick, bro.
Okay.
As a Christian, because I'm a Christian too. As a Christian, you don't believe in the heliocentric model, do you?
You're heliocentric. Is that
Like,
is that the one with the sun being around and the Earth rotating around the sun?
That we
I always
revolve
forget.
around the sun.
Yeah, I believe in that.
Well, as a Christian, you can't because it's an attack on Genesis, and Earth is a flat, motionless plane with a firmament above, separating the waters from above. What's the firmament? It's the glass dome.
The firmament is glass?
Yeah.
So it's not the troposphere.
It's not the troposphere? I don't even know what that is.
I know you don't because you haven't studied it. So what evidence do you have that there is water above a glass dome?
Well, no, I have Genesis 1:7, but you also, if you look up at stars, they look like sunlight going at the bottom of water.
What evidence do you have that there is water above a glass dome?
Well, you have sundogs and rainbows. Like, rainbows curve because of the glass dome, and sundogs reflected also.
How do rainbows work?
They use sunlight, water vapor, and the glass dome. That's why it bends.
What evidence do you have of a glass dome, bruh?
Huh?
What evidence do you have of a glass dome?
Well, you have also declassified operations by NASA that talk about it, like Operation Fishbowl Dominic, 1962.
How old do you think the Earth is?
It's around 6,000 years old.
So why on earth are you Shadow Man? I don't know. It's weird. So why on earth can we look and we can see something? And for example, we can look, let's say 10,000 light years in the past with a telescope. Why can we do that?
You can't even do that. What are you talking about? Like I'm telling you,
you don't think the universe is at least 8,000 light years across?
No, bro.
Oh.
It's heaven above and hell's below.
What do you mean heaven's above?
Outer space
Hell's
is
below,
fake, bro. Heaven's above. That's why God says in one verse, He's sitting in the throne of heaven, looking down at earth, and it's a circle.
You think heaven is like literally above us, like physically, like we could like point to God?
Yes, straight above.
And hell is down inside of earth?
Yes, right below you. It's not raining.
Could you show me a single early church father that says that? A single church father that says this at all agrees with you?
Bro, Genesis 1:7 talks about the firmament. And how do you think the big
flood
You
don't know what a firmament is. The firmament is referring to the troposphere. Why could it not be referring to the troposphere?
No, it's a glass dome.
Where in the Bible does it say it's a glass dome and it's not the troposphere?
Well, the word firmament has the word firm in it. Something that's firm is something that's hard.
Oh my gosh, no, bro. Oh my gosh.
You
don't know what you know what the Old Testament was written in, right?
No, bro, let me finish. You understand that all ancient civilizations agree with me, by the way.
Okay, do you know what the Old Testament was written
in? Hebrew, right?
And do you know what the word for firmament is in Hebrew?
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead and straw man this. It's a glass
straw
dome.
Man. You what's a straw man?
I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say it's a misinterpretation.
What's a straw man? What's a straw man?
It's when you misinterpreted my argument.
How am I misinterpreting your argument if I'm literally giving you what the Hebrew word is? How is that a misinterpretation of your argument?
It's a glass dome, bro. Like there's two things in nature that reflect it.
So why does not a single church father agree with you?
They do.
Okay, show me one.
If you go back, they agree with me.
Show me a single one. Just give me one. I just want just one. Literally, that's it. Just one.
Okay, bro. I'm telling you, bro. God put us at the center of everything. He didn't put us through.
So show me a single church father that disagrees.
We're dodging meteors and shit.
Dodging meteors?
I can't believe you're a Christian. You believe in heliocentric, man.
Yes.
You cook Muslims all the time.
Yeah. Can you show me a single church father that agrees with you?
Yeah, I'd have to Google it, but I can't wait for Google to shadow ban all this.
To what?
I don't know a church father on the top of my mind, bro. I'm gonna be real with you.
I know, because it doesn't exist.
But it literally, science points to it. It's flat at any altitude. The government has operations talking about it. The rainbow is curved.
So why is the level of entropy? So why is the level of entropy increasing in the universe?
I don't know, bro.
Have you actually studied science at all?
I have, bro. I'm still waiting for us to go to the moon, but you can't because it's cosmic plasma.
So then why is entropy increasing?
I don't know, man. Why is it?
Do you even know what entropy is?
No, I don't. That's why I ask.
Okay, I think you should probably go do some basic scientific research before you try to speak on science. Bro, it's like people just take these like random these random little conspiracy theories and don't think. Let me actually. If you studied basic science, you would know that the Earth. There's not a freaking glass dome above us, bro. Aviator with $20 super chat on YouTube. Matt Slick busting himself when he admitted the apostles didn't quote Obadiah, but it's canon because it's a part of the minor prophets. Guess what books are part of the Septuagint that Jesus and the apostle quoted? Bro, exactly. Exactly, Aviator, for real. People don't read. Yeah, people don't bro, it's like you don't do any basic. It's like people they just neglect doing basic research. I don't get it. Hello?
Yo, bro, hello.
What's going on?
I wanted to hear your opinion on Jesus telling to kill the children and
unalive, but what verse?
Samuel 15, chapter 15, verse 3.
Yeah, it's hyperbole.
Explain.
That he's using hyperbole.
Yeah, my English is not so good, so you have to explain it better.
Yeah, hyperbole is when you exaggerate something. So like if I say I'm playing a basketball game, I'm about to go unalive the other team, not literally finna unalive the other team.
How is he telling that in this verse?
What do you mean how?
Isn't
Hyperbole
he
is
just
literally a
saying
part of
words
basic
to tell
language.
everyone there?
You said what?
Like, isn't it telling in this verse that he's like commanding them to kill children, women, and stuff?
Unalive. Don't say that word.
Unalive. Okay, sorry.
No, he's using hyperbole. There's what I'm saying. He's exaggerating.
Okay, and another question is like when he tells to, I don't know the exact verse in my head, but he's telling like to shave the woman's hair, something like that. What's about that?
Are you talking about the verse in the New Testament in Timothy? Where it says if they don't wear a head covering?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was because it was specifically for the church, right? I think it was the Church of Corinth, where they were supposed to be wearing head coverings because the women there were basically acting in an improper manner.
So you accept that you should shave a woman's hair off?
No, I literally just said that was specifically for the Church of Corinth. Because of the misconduct of the woman.
So it's not for our time right now?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, that's it.
All right, take care. Bro, my shadow ban on TikTok for real? Like, what the frick is going on? Like, 55 on here is insane. Restart. I might in a minute. I'm also going to put my link to join in my YouTube as well here. What was that? That's what it was. Okay. All right, there we go. Now people can also join on YouTube if they want as well. All right, guest requests are open if y'all disagree. Streaming software, OBS. And TikTok Studio. I'm not surprised, Ted. Notifications never get sent properly. I know. Nick, can God become a woman? No. Because it would be, I think, direct opposition for Jesus to become a woman. So we consider that man is supposed to be the head. So if he becomes a woman, he's no longer the head. Wouldn't make any sense. How's everyone doing today, man? Make sure y'all continue to like the live. And we'll keep going here, man. Where was this at? Okay, there we go. Church fathers are people to go to. Do you have first or second century church fathers talk about intercession or sacrament? Well, there was no first century church fathers. There's no such thing as that. But if you want to look at that, yeah, we have the Didache that talks about the sacraments. So if you want to look at like the earliest attestation to sacraments, the Didache is going to be a good place to start. When are you doing another collab with J Dyer, God Logic, or John? I think me and John are actually gonna go live tomorrow together on his channel. Where would you say Jesus claims divinity? You could just say where he says he's the first and the last, the Alpha and the Omega. I don't want to worship a human, so you don't want to worship the one true God? That's crazy. Couldn't be me. Could not be me. Consequences for false reporting? Yeah, I know. Because God didn't save that so-called Jesus. What? How do you know I'm not your God? Pretty easy. Guest requests are open and I can show you. He can't be God. Jesus doesn't know the hour. He didn't know the hour. What do you think about the alone argument, Isaiah? I don't know what you mean by the alone argument. I encountered a guy from the World Mission Society Church of God today. That's hilarious. I haven't encountered anybody since that one time that I did. When they literally came to my house. I'm like, y'all knocked on the wrong door. Like, imagine going knocking on doors. Like, you a heretical group going and knocking on doors, and you just, out of everywhere in the world you could have knocked, you knocked on my door, bro. That's tough. That's bad luck. I ain't gonna lie. That's just bad luck. I'll be sick. I seen the other day there was these people out, like low-key, like right outside my church, these Jehovah's Witnesses. And I was about to be like, yo, how the freak you gonna sit outside my church? Like, you should know better. But I didn't talk to them. It was like two old ladies, bro. They didn't even seem like they wanted to be there. I was like, yo. I was like, I'm just, bro, y'all can have it, man. I would have felt bad, low-key. I would have felt bad. Some apologists. Oh my gosh, likewise. The Big John Steele is in my live. Wow. In my TikTok. Jesus did in the last hour. According to what? The guest requests are open if you can prove that. Jesus never heard of Christianity? Yeah, this is the type of comments I be getting, bro. Bro. This is literally the type of comments I be getting. I swear I feel like I'm shadow banned. I gotta be shadow banned on TikTok. Should I restart TikTok? Let me know. Yeah, low-key TikTok on board. I'm finna restart. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm restarting on TikTok because I don't know why, but freaking that thing was just not that live was not cooking, man. I might be shot. If y'all don't know, man, on TikTok, sometimes you get shadow banned, which means that they don't send your live out to people like that, you know? It happens. It happens. But there's also, if you guys do want to join on YouTube, I have the link pinned in chat to join. So, oh wait, there's like 3 people that do want to join. Okay. All right. Hello. Wait. All right. Hello. Unsilenced Dirt, are you there?
Hello?
Yeah, what's going on?
Not much. So do you believe that people... Well, let's start with something different. Is there a limit to how much you can sin as a Christian and still remain a Christian?
Is there a limit?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I call it a limit, but I mean, you definitely can lose your salvation if that's what you're asking.
But you can specifically do that by sinning, even though you accept Jesus Christ as your Savior?
Yeah, because he says the people who continue will be cut off from the branch.
You might continue sinning?
Yeah, they continue on sinning, they'll be cut off. The branch will be cut off.
Do you think people benefit more from sinning or not sinning personally?
They benefit from not sinning.
Well, then why would anyone want to sin to begin with?
You shouldn't.
But why do we?
because they don't not know the actual truth that not sinning is gonna be better for you.
So are you talking about like because of there's like that limit where if you sin so much you lose your salvation?
I mean, yeah, but a lot of people don't even believe in God, so they take the sin and they believe that the sin is better for you. So
And when you say that sinning isn't good for you, are you just talking about like the like as far as a possibility of losing your eternal salvation, or do you believe that God actually creates like worldly consequences for sin?
he can. It's not always necessary that he creates consequences for sin, but there can be worldly consequences for sin. It's possible.
I mean, like it's just I've talked to like one Christian before, and he thinks that like literally like gay people cause the collapse of society.
Well, we see in the Bible that people are punished for worldly sins all the time, so
Okay.
it can
So-
definitely happen.
Basically, what I'm getting at is that if people benefit from sinning, and if Jesus forgives sins, then if someone truly wanted to benefit themselves the most during their lifetime, they would do the most amount of sin possible in order to benefit from it, but just not enough to where they would no longer be under grace.
The issue is you don't know what that line is, so
Exactly.
then we should not be sinning in the first place at all. We should be striving to not sin.
Well, no matter what your motivations are, I think it is in everyone's interest to know where that line is, isn't it?
Yeah, but nobody really knows. That's the thing. You don't know what that line is.
Well, how do you know you're on the saved side?
You don't. That's the point.
Well, I mean, like, do you think that another interesting thing is like, do you think that Christians are capable of never sinning?
Capable of never sinning? I mean, I think it's logically possible, but is it like metaphysically possible? Only God really knows that.
Yeah, so like I like to think about it the same way you do, which is like like God always gives us a way out of sin, but there's got to be like a chance that if like God created infinite humans, because there has to be a possibility that like there's like that one guy who doesn't sin and always takes God's way out. It's possible for someone to live and die and possibly not even need God's grace.
Yeah, but the issue is that's like almost probably going to be metaphysically impossible that someone is going to not sin enough to not need God's grace. Because if you only sin even once, you need God's grace. So,
I mean, I know it's going to be really hard. There's probably going to be
And
like
the issue
quadrillions
is-
of humans.
well, the issue is even if you don't sin once, you still would need saved by God's grace because you'd still have a fallen nature regardless. So,
Oh, so you believe that what do you call it? Like the sin nature you're born with is enough for you to be condemned to hell? Like you don't actually have to act on it until you're deserving of hell?
no, I believe so. I believe that we all have ancestral sin, and because we have ancestral sin, we're in need of a savior. The sinning just makes it worse.
Okay. So, I mean, like one problem that kind of brings up is, do you believe that like babies go to hell?
No, I don't believe so because I think they're free from personal sin.
But you were just saying that generational sin condemns everyone to hell.
Yeah, it condemns us to hell, and that's what repentance is. What saves us, repentance and belief in Christ. But there are going to be exceptions to that. There are going to be exceptions like people who don't have the ability to repent, and that's going to include babies.
Where do you get that? Do you just assume that exception, even though it's not like exactly clearly stated in the Bible?
Yeah, I'm not sola scriptura.
Oh, that's interesting. So, an
None of
interesting thing that
None of the early
interesting
Christians were.
sorry, what?
Said none of the early Christians were sola scriptura.
I'm guessing that just means that you kind of use philosophy outside of scripture to, like, I guess, to fill in some gaps.
Yeah, we use the church. Thank you for the super chat, Big John. Yeah, so we use the church fathers, right? The church that Christ established to actually decipher the scriptures.
Do you think that you can use? Do you think that you can disprove God? Like, and how exactly do you think that would work?
No,
Or
don't
I
think
guess,
you
you know,
can-
but-
I don't think you can disprove God. No.
Really? Like, what's the point in having these debates if, like, you don't even believe it's disprovable? Like, so I guess it's just to convince other people then?
To try to help people that think that you can and show them that they're wrong.
So like there would literally be like nothing I could say, like even if all the evidence was somehow stacked against it, like you still would believe in God.
Yeah.
Well, some dedication to the faith part of Christianity.
Yeah, that's just me though, because like personal experiences and stuff that I've had with God. So I don't expect
I mean,
other people. I don't expect other people to have that kind of faith. So that's why I do these lives.
yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, I don't mind talking anyway. So something I thought about was that a situation where say I created hell, and I created like just two people in there, and one of them's a theist, one of them's an atheist, and the atheist is looks to a Christian and says, look at all this suffering we're in. Like, is there any justification that that you could possibly attribute to God to say that He is morally good, even though He causes all this suffering for no reason? Like He just created us in here.
I don't think God causes suffering. Number one, in a primary substance way. Maybe in like a secondary causation type of way. And number two, I don't think all suffering is bad either. So that you would have to justify how suffering is objectively wrong.
Yeah, I have to admit, I guess I'm kind of a radical atheist in the sense that I also stick to even like the worst things that my beliefs may come up with. So kind of like how you may believe in like radical faith, I might believe in like radical stuff like morality is. I think morality is an emotional thing purely. I think it's impossible to describe morality without emotions.
Yeah, that's fine. You could say that, but then you still have to provide. Still would need some sort of justification for how we know things are objectively evil or good.
Well, I mean, I think there's a problem with those words that they're inherently emotional. I think this is, I guess, a more interesting thing for us to talk about. Do you think that it's possible to describe why something is wrong without using emotions?
I mean, yeah.
Could you try?
Okay, 2 + 2 = 5 is wrong. I don't need emotions for that.
But wrong and okay, I guess that's like factually wrong.
Things
But
can be wrong without emotion.
well, I mean, that's sort of factually wrong. Like, I don't think that's the same as saying something's morally wrong. Like, you ever heard like that you can't get an is from an alt or an alt from an is?
Yeah, so if you're saying that, then we can just hold the divine command theory and say we don't need emotions. I can say something is wrong without any emotion, just because if I hold the divine command theory, then that's going to be my justification.
But then God can create whatever to be right or wrong, can't He? He can just say whatever.
No, because I believe logic, things like the laws of logic, can be grounded in God. So I don't think that He changes certain things. I think that things are going to be morally, objectively wrong in and of themselves, and His divine command theory is just basically stating He is the justification to how we know that.
Off.
What's that?
It seems like you cut off.
Oh, was it? I don't know why it says it's reconnecting. Okay. Yeah, what I was saying was basically I believe that because of these things that occur, they're going to be wrong in and of themselves. But that doesn't necessarily mean that God Himself is changing things to make them wrong. He is just the revelation of how we know they're wrong.
Yeah, it'd be like it's just our perception of God that changes and not Him Himself, right?
Yeah.
Do you think God can change His nature?
No.
So, like, you would say something like God doesn't have free will?
I don't think that's what free will is. I think free will is not the ability to change your nature.
Well, I mean, it's to be able to choose.
Not to choose to change your nature.
I don't know about that.
Free will is the ability to choose between two things. It's not.
But I mean, God, because He's like in this outside of time thing, and He's already like at His very end state. Like, He can't really choose His preferences because He's already chosen them. But like, you can't really pinpoint the exact time where He chose them because of just He's outside of time.
Yeah, so it's not going to be a point in time where He chose those things. It's just going to be occurring from eternity.
So back to morality. I just think that you don't think that God can make anything right or wrong. So like, even if certain things, do you think so? Like, ultimately, like when God chose, like, at some point he chose to be a certain way, right? Like the way he is currently.
No, I don't think he chose at some point chose to be the way he is. It's how he is in virtue of his nature.
Well, how did he become the way he is?
He's eternally that way. He didn't become that way. He's atemporal.
Well, I mean, yeah, I know semantically it's hard to explain, but at somehow God is the way he is. Like, he's a very specific God. And, you know, like, there's, like, an infinite amount of, like, different specific gods that could have existed. And I'm just wondering.
I
Really?
I don't think there's a infinite number of gods that could have existed.
So you don't think that there's, like, a possibility that, like the Christian God is different? Like, you know, say there's a God just like the Christian God, and he thinks that murder's okay.
No, I
you don't think that's a possibility at all?
God is necessary. No.
Well, what makes him necessary?
The fact that he's pure act, and the fact that the things in virtue which occur in the universe are going to be all in virtue of him. There's not going to be any, like, we don't believe in, like, the multiverse or something like that. So if he, for example, if God is necessarily pure act, then there can't be another God or another type of God, another version of God possible.
So I think one thing that's kind of effective, particularly with people like you who take stuff on faith a lot, is just generally the problem is, like, what's to keep you and someone else who has, like, a radical faith in Islam, like, how is that, like, you don't see that it's important to prove, like, with evidence the best you can, like, the stuff you believe? Because
that's why we do this. We're using logic and reasoning, so we can use logic and reasoning to show why Islam doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I think at that point you gotta use some logic and reasoning, or else, just radical faith can support any thing.
Yeah, I don't think that you should just come to a faith based on that. You should also use logic and reasoning. So that's what we use here, is logic and reasoning. You'll never see me give an argument just based on faith.
Yeah, fair. Like, wasn't really going to convince anyone by that. But, like, if you do, I'm guessing faith kind of fills this gap, but, like, if you're functioning logically, you have to admit, like, as far as, like, there being a multiverse and there being a God, like, those things have to be similarly probable. Like, I'm tempted to say equally. Because, like, you don't know for certain. Well, I mean, because they're both probable things that might be the case.
You have to prove the multiverse is probable.
I mean, don't you also have to prove God's probable?
Yes, and I can prove that.
You think you have, like, a full step-by-step proof that makes him more probable than, like, anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I can give a syllogism.
Sure.
Okay, premise 1, something is moved or is in motion. Premise 2, whatever is moved by something else. Premise 3, if everything that moves is moved, i.e. the series of movers of moved things goes to infinity, which is to say that every mover is a secondary mover, then there is no first mover. Premise 4, if there is no first mover, then there is no secondary movers, since secondary movers are only moved by the first. Premise 5, if no secondary movers, then nothing is moved. Conclusion, there is a first mover, and there is only one, and the first mover exists. And this is going to be in an essentially ordered chain. So what premise would you disagree with? And we can go premise by premise if you'd
like. I'm not great with keeping all that stuff in my head. I know you're generally making the argument of first movers. I'm familiar with it. And I think a good counterexample is the idea that the Earth is eternal, and actually it's like a huge loop that things cause other things. Kind of like I'll explain it like a rain cycle. Rain comes down, it evaporates, goes back into the clouds, it comes back down again. And I think that's the way you can imagine an Earth where, like, there's, like, finite material, and there's only, like, a finite amount of space that material can be in. And so after an infinite amount of time, the material would eventually be in all the places imaginable, and then it would cause the next cycle, and it will just keep on going.
The issue with that is, say that is the case, if that would mean time goes infinitely far back, because it's an infinite cycle. So if time goes infinitely far back, how could we have ever gotten to this point?
Easily, because this point has happened an infinite amount of times. We're just repeating our lives over and over again.
Well, that would be only if you hold the B theory of time. You hold the B theory?
B theory of time. It couldn't be a block if it's just an infinitely wide block.
What? I'm asking if you hold the B theory or A theory.
I mean, I was looking at these theories of time just earlier today, well, if you believe it. But I don't remember what A theory was.
So, do you believe that time is linear?
Yes.
Okay, if you believe time is linear, then it can't be the way you just said, because that means that it goes on a linear path, meaning infinitely far back linearly. So, let's use an example of a linear path. Let's say we have a group of people on a infinite linear chain, and there's one person who's infinitely far from another person in the chain, and I tell the person next to me to tell the person next to them, etc., to tell that person infinitely far away what I said. Will he ever hear what I said?
No.
No. So in the same way, we are infinitely far on the chain from another point in the chain and previously, because that's how a linear chain works. So how could we have ever gotten to this point?
Can I re-explain your argument and see if you agree with my version of it?
You gonna give me a different version of my own argument?
Yeah. It's just there's big concepts, and I have my own ingrained ways of thinking about them. You can disagree if you want.
Sure.
So the way I like to think about why infinite world is improbable is because there's an infinite amount of things that could change what exists today. So when there's those Back to the Future movies where say change one thing, change everything. That's true with every single thing that exists. But if you think about it the way I'm thinking, where the thing causes itself because it's circular. Like it causes something else, that causes something else, that causes something else, that eventually comes around to cause the first thing, then there's no problem because it's just a loop.
Oh, okay. My point is, though, is you can say that, but it's still a loop, but it's still linear. Regardless of whether or not it's a loop, it's still linear.
Exactly. So it does apply with a theory of time.
Okay, but then you'd still would run into the issue of how you're reaching infinity, because you would still agree that there's a previous point in time that's infinitely far away. You can't reach an infinite point. So if a previous point is infinitely far away, we could have never reached this point.
Yeah, I'm not exactly. So can you explain more? I'm sorry, I'm not really grasping this.
Okay, imagine in the example I gave with the people that we are the person who is trying to be reached by the other person telling the person next to them something. That's who we are. Okay? And then previously, there is the person trying to reach us, but we can never be reached. So if we can never be reached, then by definition, time can never reach us where we are right now, because we're infinitely far in the future and you can never reach infinity. Therefore, we could never even exist in an infinite chain. It would be impossible.
Okay, so I think I'm getting what you're saying. So you're talking about an infinite, a never-ending, never repeating sequence. I'm talking about infinite repeating sequence. So you're saying that
it can be repeating, but the point is we're not talking about the actual thing itself, right? The actual events. We're talking about the time in which it occurs. So we can have one event occur over and over and over again, but as long as time exists, which it has to if things are changing, then we could have never reached this specific event. The time that we are in now. It would be no way.
Oh, okay. I think I see what you're talking about because because like a theory of time, the idea is that our conscious experience is going through it like moment by moment, and you can't do that because I get it now. I mean, I guess I could always just say I believe in the other theory of time.
You can say that, but that brings its own issues, bro. Now you gonna have to say that you exist at the same time as George Washington, and it just runs into a lot of issues, bro.
I thought that was a theory of time, where everything exists equally at the same time.
Oh, that's beat it.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry. I've always believed in B theory. Like I always thought that we all equally exist at the same time.
Yeah, B theory is even worse. You're gonna have to say you equally exist at the same time as dinosaurs. You gonna have to reject that Mars is 1,000,000 light years away. However many light years away it is. You're gonna have to reject that. There's a lot of science you're gonna have to reject if you hold the B theory.
Oh no, I guess I have to read into it.
Yeah, I would just look into that, man, and come back later and let me know what you think.
Yeah.
But all right, appreciate you hopping up, man.
Oh, okay. You can go and have someone else on, I guess.
Yeah.
See ya.
Take care. Take care. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next guest here. We'll switch back and forth. Go on TikTok and YouTube. Please only request if you guys disagree with the prompts.
Hello.
Hello.
I just wanted to say that Muslims are Christians. So
What?
it's just a sect, a rival sect. If you have a read Quran.
All right, bro. Back to YouTube. Back to YouTube. Nate, what's going on?
Yo, can you hear me?
Your mic's a little messed up.
Wait 1 second. Can you hear me or is it still messed up?
Nah, your mic is mad messed up. Here, I'll just mute you. Try to fix that. Maybe plug in some headphones, and then I'll come back to you in a sec.
Alright, no worries.
Yosef, what's going on?
Hey, bro.
Hey, you have to turn off your YouTube in the background.
Oh, my YouTube is off. The microphone's off.
You have an echo.
The volume's down.
Crazy echo.
I'll turn the TV off. What about now?
Hello. Yeah, you have
Can you
a
hear
crazy echo. You have to like try to find some headphones too. I'll come back to YouTube, but it's like bad, dog. I'll come back to you in a sec. All right, only one. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Bro, what's up with y'all mic? Do y'all not like y'all not invest in mics? Y'all must not invest in quality mics, man. This is crazy. Okay. S, hello.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's going on?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, but you have an echo too. I don't only the first guest I have an echo.
Echo, how bad of an echo?
Pretty bad. I can hear myself. It's pretty loud.
Because I can't hear. If I don't know, there shouldn't be an echo.
There is. You gotta maybe turn off your background. Nah, it's not me, TikTok, because the first guest was fine.
No, because I can't hear it back. Like the other guy who had an echo, I could hear it back.
Let me try. Let me see. Click solo talk. Hello? Try to talk?
Yeah, hello? Yeah?
Try to change some of my audio settings.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
No echo or nothing? Because I can't hear no echo in here.
There's an echo, bro. I don't know what's going on. Hold on. Testing.
Hello? Yeah? Can
Hold
you hear
on.
me?
Yeah, hold on, bro. I can hear you.
Sure.
What the frick? Jabril messing with the audio. No lie.
What's going on?
Testing. Can you hear me? Oh, okay, he can't hear me with that.
I can hear you. I can hear you, yeah.
Wait, you can hear me like this? How the frick could the first guest hear me fine?
I can hear you.
I know you can, but there's an echo.
I'm not sure. Do you have an echo on your end?
Bro, I've said that like 6 times. Hello. Talk again. Modern atheism.
Hi, what's up?
Okay, I can kind of. Atheist mics are better. He's still. Are you still on the video, modern atheism?
No, what? I closed. I'm
closed
just in
YouTube?
the studio. I just closed the video.
Hmm.
And there is no.
Do you hear me all right?
There's an echo.
I don't hear the echo.
I know you don't, bro. There's an echo. How many times do I gotta keep telling these people there's an echo on my end, bro? I don't know. I'm gonna take up a TikTok guess while I figure this out though. If this person connects on TikTok, they might have left. Make sure if y'all are in here, you guys are double tapping that screen. Get them likes up. Make sure y'all get them likes up. One sec, guys. All right, hello, guest. Can you hear me? Guest, modern atheism. Can you hear me?
Hi. Hi. How are you?
All right. Hello. No, it's still. All right, one sec, modern atheism. Nah, there's still an echo, John. All right, talk again, modern atheism. Nah, it's still doing the
Hello.
same thing.
What's up? Hi. Hi, Nick. Is
All
it
right.
okay now?
I'll do that. All right. I'll call you after, John, and I'll create a new room. All right, see you. All right, we're just gonna be letting off guests on TikTok right now because for some reason this room is acting mad weird. So we're gonna, you need help when you need Big John with technical difficulties. No lie, bro. No lies detected. All right, if you guys do want to join the live as a guest and you guys are on the YouTube, come to my TikTok. I'll put the link in here. Hello?
Yeah, so my mic wasn't working on YouTube, so I just decided to come here.
Oh, yeah, that's perfect. There you go.
So yeah, I'm basically new to the whole religion stuff, and I heard about the Trinity. Obviously I have Christian friends, so they kind of tried to explain the Trinity to me, but it doesn't really make sense. But the main problem I have is how do we count the persons of the Trinity? Like, if they're all God or they have the divine like essence, isn't that three gods?
No, how would that lead to three gods?
Because the Father is God, the Son is God, and the Spirit is God. So if they all have
Yeah,
the
but they just
divine
counted
essence.
three persons with the same essence.
So if we were to count, so for example, me, you, and let's say John, would that not be three men?
That's because we don't have absolutely identical natures.
How do we have absolutely identical natures?
Is mind a property of nature?
Yeah.
Do we have an absolutely identical mind?
No,
Okay,
no,
so
we
we don't
don't.
have an absolutely identical nature then.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. I think that makes sense. All right, cool. That's calm. All right, appreciate it.
Yep,
Thank
take
you.
care. Hello?
Hello?
Hey, yeah, how old are you?
Listen, I'm underage, but I just have a question, all right?
I'm sorry, I can't answer. I'm not finna get banned on TikTok. Hello?
Hey man, just wanted to know if I can have a question.
Yo, what's in your background?
Oh, just turn the TV right down. Can you hear me? I was on YouTube. I just put a mic on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just a suggestion if it's okay. I know you're an amazing defender of Christianity, but are you able to let the Mozzies try and defend their faith, like with all the stuff like Aisha and the garments that Muhammad
They can.
wears
I
and
tell
the
any
donkey
Muslim.
that eats the?
I tell any Muslim they can come up and prove to me their religion's true.
I guess you could do that. And can I have one question for atheists?
You say you have a question for
atheism?
atheists? There's a lot of atheists on
Yeah,
TikTok.
like if
You
you
can
have
go up on their lives.
No, if you have an answer for it, because I can never understand this. Why do atheists they're always pro-abortion and all this stuff, but yet they always bring up the verses about killing babies?
I'm not an atheist.
I don't understand it.
Appreciate you hopping up, but I'm not an atheist, so you asking the wrong person. I guess requests are open if y'all disagree. Yeah, that was a thing that was weird with the whole YouTube thing, was that the first guess was fine. That's why I'm like, I don't know if it was me or if it was they weren't doing something right on their end. I don't know, but you are so dismissive, hard to watch. Like, that was a good question. He asked a question about why atheists do what they do, and I'm not an atheist. The frick you mean I'm dismissive? Well, how am I going to answer a question that's for atheists and I'm not an atheist? Like, what? Are we using thinking skills? Do you believe Jesus is the angel of the Lord? Yes, I do. I do. Guest requests are open, though, if you guys are a Muslim. You're so rude. Wow, I'm so rude for not answering a question that is for atheists. And by the way, the guy who asked me the question is in the chat and said he's right. Okay, so even he's on the same page. So I don't know what that lady in the chat is talking about, but you're good though. What was your name? Yo, you're good though, bro. Like, it's okay. I was just saying I just can't answer the question. Hello?
Yo, hello.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, I got a question about the Trinity.
Okay.
Is the Trinity unbegotten or begotten?
What are you defining as a Trinity? The three persons? The three persons are not all unbegotten.
Oh, no, my bad. Or is God unbegotten or begotten?
God's not a rigid designator, so who are you referring to?
The essence.
Yes, the essence is unbegotten.
Okay, so Jesus possesses. So Jesus is unbegotten too.
Only insofar as his essence, not insofar as his hypostasis.
What do you mean? And so, what do you mean only insofar as his essence?
So, in virtue of his essence, we could say he's unbegotten, not in virtue of his hypostasis.
Then why don't you just say? Yeah. So then why don't you just say the ontology of Jesus is unbegotten? Why do you say Jesus is unbegotten?
Because ontology includes your personhood.
Okay, so the person is unbegotten in respect.
No, the person you could say in respect of the nature, but not in respect of his personhood itself.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, so I got another question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, how do you count one God?
We count one God. We count God as a descriptor of essence.
So you just count the essence?
Yeah, that's what we're counting as the God. So if anyone possesses that essence, that's why they say that they are the same God.
Okay, well, me and you both possess a human nature.
We don't possess an absolutely identical human nature.
What do you mean by we don't possess an absolutely identical human nature?
Our human nature are not absolutely identical.
What are you cashing out nature to be?
Nature is going to be an essential set of properties that makes something what you are. Modern atheism.
So
You can come back next time, bro. I'll make sure I get you on.
is essence and nature in this context synonymous?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're saying me and you, since we don't have an identical human nature, therefore we count us as separate beings. What's different about me and you's human nature, set of essential properties? What's different?
Mind. Our mind is not the same mind, and mind is a
We have a
property of
different
nature.
mind. We have a different mind because we're an instantiation of the human nature. We still think like a human. We're
Okay,
just
is
different
mind a property of
instantiation.
nature?
Yeah.
Okay, and we don't have the same mind, therefore we don't have an absolutely identical nature.
Yeah, we don't have the same mind because we're a different instance of that nature. We still think like a human though.
That's fine. Even if we're a different instance of that nature, then we're different particulars.
Yeah, exactly. So what's the symmetry breaker between the Trinity and mono-humanity? Just saying that all
That
humans
they have the same exact essence. It's not a different one.
Yeah, you're just asserting that. I'm asking you, why aren't they instances of divinity?
Because they're not particulars. The persons are not particulars.
What are they then? They're not under a set category.
Yeah, we believe they transcend universals and particulars.
Okay, so so they're not an instance or anything. They just subsist in the essence.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Identical
That's
to
all.
the essence, yeah.
What do you mean by materially identical? That they're just of the substance?
Yeah, pretty much that they have the substance itself, right? They're not going to be a distinct ontology from the substance.
Okay. Yeah, that's really all the questions I had, man. Thanks.
All right, take care. Hello.
Yo, I listen. I'm not that educated yet, but I just want to say, like, the reason why I'm not Christian is because I feel like majority of Christians follow the priest. Majority of Christians are idol worshippers, and it don't suit me. You get me?
Define an idol.
I mean, they have pictures. They have pictures of what Jesus they think he looked like.
Define an idol.
Like just you just know how someone looks like.
An idol is we know how someone looks like.
No, wait.
I said define an idol.
I don't know.
How the frick you gonna say what idol worshippers? You don't even know what an idol is.
Because you have pictures of like Jesus.
How does that make it? Do you not have pictures of your mother?
Okay, I don't worship my mom.
Bro, okay. And Jesus is God, so it's not an idol worship. So worshiping God is idol worship?
I mean, not necessarily. If you don't have pictures of him on your wall, but that's why I'm saying majority. Like, I've seen a lot of people that I know have pictures of Jesus on their wall.
Because he's God. Is there an issue with that?
Exactly. So people say you have an idea of what your God looks like.
Yeah, we do, because he incarnated.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. When you talk about a God, you're thinking of like there's no flaws. Like you can't just be a God. Can't be a human, bro.
Says who?
This is what God is.
Says
omnipotent,
who?
bro.
Do you not follow the prophets of the Old Testament?
I'm saying you say God's omnipotent, but he got crucified.
That's not what omnipotent means. I'm asking you, do you follow the Old Testament prophets?
I haven't read the Bible.
So how do you know? So how do you know then that Islam is in continuation with the prophets if you haven't read the Bible?
Listen. I'm like I said at the beginning, I'm not that educated. I'm just saying, like, just the way you look at Christianity, you see Jesus was a human.
What do you mean the way you look at Christianity? You never read the Bible.
The way I look at Christianity, bro.
But you've never researched Christianity.
That's true, and I'm planning on doing so anyway.
So you can't say it doesn't make sense if you've never researched something.
But what I do know is that Jesus was a human. He got crucified. He got beat. And I can't worship a God that's been beat. Like people say like he came down to humble himself, but like to who?
Humble himself was to build a bridge between humanity and God, because there was a separation between God and humanity when man sinned. And so now he built that bridge back by incarnating and lifting up our nature to himself.
But build it back, like make people better? Because I don't know, you could look at the world today, it's definitely not better.
To give us a chance to perfect our nature.
But he knows that it's not gonna work because I mean, look at everyone today.
It did work and it will work. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean?
But
Look at
I'm saying,
today.
look at people of today. Like,
There's
no one's good.
billions of Christians. What do you mean?
Oh! I thought you meant like make people not sin.
No, that's not the crucifixion. And the incarnation was not to make people not sin.
Oh no! You mean like to get more Christians, right?
Yeah, the reason for it was to be able for people to have a chance to be with God.
Then I have a question. I'm not assuming. I'm just asking you because you're the educated one. So is it true that like the Crusaders, they killed millions of people to get them to turn to Christianity?
No, that's not why they did that. The Crusades were because, for example, the Ottoman Empire. This is one of the Crusades. The Ottoman Empire went over and was trying to take over Constantinople, and they were trying to take over the Orthodox regime there. So guess what they did? They went and defended the Christians. So it was a defense structure.
All right. Like I was just asking. You get me? I don't know.
I know. I'm just answering.
Yeah, but I'm saying like in general, like the way I view Christianity, but because it's what I do know, right? Because it's what I do know that Jesus was a human. I can't look at, I can't think of my God being a human and my God that got beat. My God,
But here's the issue. Okay, here's the issue though. You should, if you properly read the Old Testament prophets, and if Islam is supposed to be a continuation of Old Testament prophets, you should believe that. Because the Old Testament prophets prophesied that God was going to come down and take on flesh.
All right, fair enough. But one day, obviously, I'm going to read the Quran, read the Bible.
You ain't even read the Quran?
No. I still
You a Muslim?
I still pray and stuff, yeah, but I still haven't fully read the Quran.
Well, yo, you gotta pick up a book sometime, bro.
Yeah, you're judging me, bro. I read other stuff, bro.
What else could you possibly read that's more important?
I mean, like I do, maths and physics for A levels, so I have other things.
Bro, put down the math books and pick up some religious books, bro.
Yeah, of course. I've been meaning to get. I was even thinking about doing a Torah, but
you should read them all.
Because
as a Christian, I'm saying this. You should read them all.
But the thing is, when I'm telling you I'm going to read them, I'm not reading them in hopes of not necessarily finding God. It's because they're old scriptures. They'll teach me a bit more about history in general. So that's mainly why I want to read them.
And it's good too. You should read them, and you should research them, study them outside of the books as well, and see what conclusion you come to. That's what I did, and I came to the conclusion that Christianity was a true religion.
Wait, also one thing. You see how there's a lot of people debating on which religion's right. What I don't understand is if everyone's read the book, like there's obviously a person who's read both the Bible and the Quran, then shouldn't they already know which one's the right one because it says it in the book? Why is there a whole debate?
Because here's the issue. Okay, first of all, that would be circular reasoning because it says it's real in the book. Is how we reason. No, we know if something is true by reading the text and using our logic and reasoning skills. So we say, okay, there's some claims made in this book. Do these claims line up with logic? Do these claims line up with history? Do these claims line up with the rest of what the book says? So there's multiple faculties of way that we can realize if something is true, are right. And the issue is a lot of people don't use those reasoning skills, right? They either believe something just because they say it, or they believe something even without reading it. So there's a lot of reasons why people read something and believe something else, or read something and believe that. Like that's kind of why.
Okay. Fair enough. But anyways, I'm gonna go now. Thank you for the talk. I just had a few questions.
All right, man. Take care.
Take care.
Bro, why is my mouse like... There we go. Is it raining outside? When does it even rain here anymore, dog? I feel like it ain't rained in years. Dang, it is. Oh, that person's not connecting. You're gonna have to re-request. Boy, I ain't seen it rain in ages. Let me check my weather app. It's gonna be a nice thunderstorm, man. Y'all lucky I'm here right now, because Lord knows I would rather be napping in this storm. Bring up this yapper. Guest requests are open. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a nice little storm. Ooh, stormy live. Just wait, y'all. It's gonna be great lives when we have some snow day lives. When the winter hits and we have some snow day lives. Oh yeah, that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun. But yeah, by the way, for next time y'all are here, by the way, we'll let some guests up on YouTube next time too. On Tuesday. Inshallah. Thanks for all the gifts, y'all. Who's the angel of the Lord according to Matthew 2:18? Or 19. Matthew 2:19. I don't think it's talking about the angel of the Lord. I think it's just talking about an angel of the Lord. There's a difference between the angel of the Lord and just an angel of the Lord. Almost 40 degrees Celsius. What is that in freedom units? Why does knowledge have to know itself regressively? Yeah, I don't know what that means. Bismillah ar-Rahim. Freedom unit. Bruh, I don't the frig 40 degrees Celsius is. Which state are you from? I'm definitely from one of them. For sure, I'm from one of them. Where in the Bible Jesus says he's God? Revelation 22:13. Is there a self-conscious in the Trinity? I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. Oh, 72? It's like average. Nick's from Hawaii, you can just tell. I'm not from Hawaii. You probably thought I was from Hawaii because one of my links said Hawaii, but that's because I just didn't put my real state. I just picked a random one, and Hawaii was the first one that came to mind. A lot of what you say is Islamic teachings. What do you mean? Alaskan? Heck no. Bros from West Virginia? No. I'm a fan of West Virginia, though. Like the football team, but no, I'm not from West Virginia. Y'all suck at guessing. Alaskan? Do I look like I'm from Alaska, bro? They trying to dox my boy? They suck at it. Listen, I'm easy to dox, bro. Like honestly, I'm not that hard. Like in the sense like y'all can listen. I have a really good VPN, so you won't be able to find exactly where I am. But you know, it's easy. It's easy to listen. I'll say I'm online a lot of places. I'm online a lot of places. I'll just say that. I'm pretty sure I've heard you say what state you're from. You probably will. I don't care. I tell people what state I'm from because I'm pretty easy to find what state I'm from. You got some vanilla color shirts. You were looking fire yesterday. Listen, I just got this one too recently. I'm glad someone noticed. Guys, if you guys are on YouTube and you guys want to request, I'll be taking up YouTube guests tomorrow. Well, I'm trying to figure out why my YouTube thing isn't working. So if you guys do want to request on YouTube, come to my TikTok, Nick SWV. Anyone getting way more commercials on YouTube today? That's no good, bro. Need a skin fade? Listen, bro, my barber's been out. He's been on vacation. All right, chill on me. I'm not even finna be back in the barbershop till like, for like another week, bro. They be on longer on YouTube recently and unskippable. That's annoying. Dawa Solutions, bro. If you want to come up, come on my TikTok, Nick SWV. I will let you up right now. Like what? Okay. Where my mods at on TikTok, bro? Come on, man. What y'all doing? Newbie, I know you probably in here somewhere. Come look at your phone. I knew she was here. She just don't be looking at the screen. I swear to goodness. That's hilarious. I'm babysitting while I'm listening. I know you are. It's okay. That's why I told you it's okay. That's why I said so. I'm glad you're in here, though. I'm glad you're in here. Oh, I can hear the rain falling. It's so peaceful right now. God bless y'all. God bless. Bro said Rebecca's 3. Can't prove it, though. You got rain now. Translates triangulating position of Nick. That's funny. Bro said it's in our tafsir. What the frick? Gospel of David is crazy. Who says Rebecca was 3? They can't read. Lord knows. I ain't no 3-year-olds could freaking carry buckets of water like that.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, good man. So I have a question for you, right? So yeah, I'm a Muslim and I'm not a Christian because, yeah, there's so many reasons, endless reasons. But the concept of the Trinity, the concept of Jesus being fully man and fully God, all knowing, not all knowing. But that's not the question I wanted to ask you, right? So I wanted to say to you, is the term Father used in the Old Testament? If yes, is it understood by the followers?
Is the term God in the Old Testament? Well, you have an echo, by the way. Wait, it might be okay now.
Yeah.
Okay. Does the term God in the Old Testament say what? Newbie, I need you in the chat.
No, is the term Father used in the Old Testament? If so, then is it understood as the same way in the New Testament from, for example, the followers of Judaism that believe in the Old Testament? They don't believe Father the same way you do, right?
I mean, it depends. If you're talking about Messianic Jews, yeah.
No, I'm talking about like the general followers of Judaism today that believe in the Old Testament.
I mean, yeah, the believers, they're Messianic Jews that are also believers of the Old Testament too.
Are they the majority or the minority?
Yeah, they're the minority. What does that have to do with anything?
No, I'm talking about the majority, which is what the question I'm asking you. So the majority of Jews that believe in the Old Testament, do they use the term Father the same way that you do?
The majority of Orthodox Jews today?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so can you? No, bro, come on, man. Don't be on the defensive because you understand what this conversation is about.
I was just asking what that had to do with anything. That's it. I'm trying to figure out where you're coming from.
All right. So do you also believe in abrogation?
No, I don't think there's abrogation in the Bible.
At all?
No.
Old or New Testament?
No.
Okay. So maybe I've been misinformed there because I've been told that some things have been abrogated, right?
Yeah, no.
Okay. So all right, can you just explain to me the term Father? Why is it not predicated the same way that you would believe it?
It is predicated in the same way we believe in the Old Testament. That's why he even says in the Old Testament he has a son.
Okay, maybe it's my fault. I'm not explaining it right. So we agreed that the majority of Jews that follow the Old Testament, although they use the term Father, they don't use it in the same way that you do, correct?
No, I think the Old Testament does use it in the same way. If you're asking if the Orthodox Jews interpret it the same way, then no, but I'm saying it is used the same way in the Old Testament.
Can you prove that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, first, before you prove that, can you explain to me why do they not interpret it the same way that you do?
Because they have a faulty interpretation.
Which is what?
Which is that Father is going to be the one who is the subsister.
Which you also believe, right?
What?
Which you also believe, right?
That's not the only thing it means. It also means that he is the father of the son who he begets.
You said it was a false interpretation, but then you also said that you believed it. I'm clipping that, bro. See that, bro?
It's a false interpretation because that's not the only interpretation. If you think that was a good clip, then you just slow. He left. He ran. Good job, I guess. What? Yes, it's a faulty interpretation because that is not the only interpretation that's supposed to be. It means multiple things. Good job, though. Negative IQ, bro.
Hello?
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing much. How are you?
I'm good. What you got?
It's good. So the question is, Muslims, why aren't you Christian? Do you need my reasons?
Yeah, you can go one by one.
That's fine. So first of all, are you a Trinitarian?
Yes.
So the belief in Trinity is a red flag for me.
Okay, why?
Because Christianity teaches Trinity, Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit as three persons in one God.
Yep.
Whereas we see this as associating partners with God, and it's the gravest sin you can do in our religion.
So why did the Old Testament prophets believe that God was multiple?
No, they didn't.
Okay, so then why did in Genesis 1, why did Moses say that God was a multiplicity?
Where did you say that? What's the verse?
Let us create man in our image. Genesis 1.
Genesis 1.
Yeah.
Old Testament. What verse am I reading? Just Genesis 1.
Genesis 1:26.
That's fine. Let's see. Tanakh. God said, let us make man in our image after our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea and the fowl of the air. So, we believe it could be a royal plural.
Nah, because royal plurals didn't exist, or what we call the royal we did not exist in the Paleo Hebrew. It didn't exist till later.
How did it not?
It didn't. It wasn't created until later linguistically. It didn't exist in Paleo Hebrew.
Okay, but does God need something to be created by man for it to stick?
Why did you just whisper?
No, I said, does God need men to create something for it to stick? No.
What?
I don't
Bro,
think
okay,
so.
we're not gonna the prophets aren't gonna use a linguistic tactic that didn't exist.
Well, we still reject the Trinity purely because it's associating partners with God. You know.
Okay, well then you're gonna have to say the prophets were associating partners with God.
That's cool, but we believe in every single prophet in our religion as well. Apart, you guys don't believe in Muhammad, but we've got Muhammad as well.
What does that have to do with what I just said?
Because I don't believe that Moses fought as God, as three in one.
Okay, but you're gonna have to answer then why he called God a multiplicity.
He didn't call him a multiplicity, he just said us.
What is us? Is us multiple or singular?
Us is multiple.
Okay, so he did call him multiplicity.
But what if it was royal,
Bro, that didn't exist in the Paleo Hebrew.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it did.
Oh, okay, show me.
It was using Semitic languages to
Give me
show.
your evidence it was used in Paleo Hebrew.
In evidence that it was used in Hebrew.
Yes, the Paleo Hebrew. Show me.
So the similarities that indicate grandu, not number. In the very next verse, the grammar switches to singular. So God created man in his own image. So this shift to singular strongly supports that God is one, not a plurality of persons. So 127.
Where are you? Do you remember what I just asked you?
Yeah, but I'm letting you know.
What did I just ask you, bro?
In the very next verse, God shifts to singular.
And notice how in that verse he says the singular word he or him 3 times. Oh, maybe because there's 3 persons in the Trinity. So it's for all 3 persons.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
But that's your belief.
I'm just telling you what it is,
I'm
bro.
not.
I'm just telling you the
I'm
facts.
not here. I'm not here to debate you on your belief. I'm
telling you the facts, bro. There's no royal we in the Paleo Hebrew. That he or him is used 3 times in the next verse.
That's
I'm just
cool.
telling you,
That's
bro.
cool. That's cool. And then, no, second reason why I'm not Christian
Okay, so
is
first
because
reason debunked. Okay, second reason, go ahead.
man said debunked. Are you mad? So, second reason is that Jesus is the Son of God, or he's divine. Although we believe he's a noble prophet and a messenger, not divine, but with divine support from the one God.
Okay, so why does he call himself the first and the last and the Alpha and the Omega?
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he does. Revelation 22.
That's in your book.
Which
Revelation.
you believe, according to Surah chapter 5, is the grounding for faith, is the book in which they all need to stand on. Surah chapter 5, verse 68.
No, it says, if you are in doubt, then go to the people of a book. That
Oh,
does
so
not.
if you're in doubt, go to the people of the book. And
Yeah,
what book is that?
but the Injil and the Torah.
Oh, the Injil. Okay, can you show me this Injil we're supposed to go to if we have doubt?
The Injil?
Yeah, can you show me this Injil?
That was back then.
Can you show me any historical evidence of an Injil existing that we're supposed to go to?
I don't believe so.
Why not?
But we have parts of the Injil in our Quran.
Oh, parts of the Injil. Can you show me those Injil, like the historical evidence of those Injils?
Historical evidence of the Injil?
Yeah, anything.
So the Injil means the original gospel revealed by God to Isa, Jesus. So it's not Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John.
So can you show me the evidence that existed? That revelation that was given to Jesus.
There's no existing manuscript today.
So how do you know it really existed?
Because it was given to Jesus.
How do you know it was? What's your evidence?
Do you not believe that he was given something from God?
No, what's your evidence?
Our Quran tells us.
Okay, because the Quran says so. Great. How do you know the Quran's from God?
Because it was a revelation.
Okay, how do you know? How do you know it's a revelation from God, though?
How do I know? When I look at Christians today, how they sing and pray, and I look at Muslims, how they pray, and see who prays better.
Bro, what?
Who actually submits
you know
to
the
God?
you know the
Who
Quran's
actually
from
submits?
God because Muslims pray better?
Muslims pray properly. That's what I'll say.
And that's how you know it's from God.
Yeah, why would God want his humans, his creation, to sing Hallelujah? This is
So
a
you
great
guys don't
day.
sing? So what's a nasheed?
We don't sing.
So what's a nasheed?
Nasheed? Nasheed's like a halal kind of music with no music.
And music is singing, right?
No. It's completely different. But we're not worshipping in a
Define
nasheed.
singing. Wait, define singing.
Nasheed can be anything. We're not worshipping in nasheed.
Wait, can you define singing?
Singing is where you're using different tones of your voice and singing it.
Okay, do you not do that in the nasheed? Use different tones of your voice?
Do you think nasheed is worshipping God?
Bro, what is that? I'm asking if it's singing.
There's nothing wrong with... Bro.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with singing. Thank you. Exactly.
But we don't sing to God. We don't sing... we don't...
In nasheeds, what are you singing in nasheeds?
We don't make our singing as a form of prayer.
What are you
to God.
singing in nasheeds?
Nasheeds can be about anything. It's like a
what?
type of music.
Can you do a nasheed about the Quran? The recitation of the Quran?
I don't believe so, no.
You don't think a nasheed can be... What? Would you like me to pull up a nasheed on Surah Al-Baqarah? Guys, let's pull up Surah Al-Baqarah.
That's a Quranic verse.
Not a verse, it's a chapter.
Exactly, it's a chapter. Still, so Nasheeds.
Is this a nasheed? Is that a nasheed?
No,
What is it?
that's recitation.
What's a nasheed? Can you define nasheed?
So nasheeds are vocal songs.
And I'll actually pull the definition here as well.
So nasheeds, they're vocal songs or chants that often focus on Islamic themes, and singing the actual Quran as a nasheed is not allowed.
Says who?
Says Islam. The
Show
Quran,
me. Show me.
The Quran must be recited with proper tajweed and reverence.
Show me. Show me that cannot be a nasheed. Show me.
Hang on. We can make a nasheed inspired by the Quran using its meanings, values.
Show me
and
you
messages.
cannot use verses of the Quran in a nasheed.
In Islamically, it's not allowed.
Show me. Give me your evidence.
Okay.
Okay, great. We shall wait, guys.
Your point, is useless. It's nothing.
I'm just waiting for the evidence. That's it. You said singing's bad, but we sing. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think God told you to sing to him and pray to him.
Yeah, he did actually in the Old Testament. If you didn't know.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah. Which you should actually be following, according to the Quran.
No, you should actually be following the Quran, the updated version.
You haven't proved that it's from. You haven't proved that it's
you've
the
got
updated version of the Quran. You haven't proved the Quran's from
Instead-
God.
Instead, you've got your New Testament, which is an update for what? When the Quran was the original update for your whole religion, for the whole of mankind. You're lacking. So don't try to tell me.
Can you
what-
just give me the evidence the Quran's from God, bro?
the evidence the Quran's from God?
Yes.
The linguistic miracle,
Like
first
what?
of all.
Like what?
So basically, the Quran, it challenged all of Arabia to produce even one surah like it.
I'm very
Like
familiar
poet-
with this miracle. Love this one.
Yeah.
Now,
like
please
poet-
provide me the objective criteria as to how we know if a verse actually fulfills this.
What do you mean?
What is the objective criteria? For every challenge, there must be an objective criteria as to how we know if the challenge is fulfilled. What is the objective criteria as to how we know if this challenge is fulfilled?
To match the style of how the Quran is, because it's unique.
And what's that style?
It's the style. It's a miracle.
What's the style, though?
The style.
The style's the style, guys. What is the style? What's the style?
It's like it's not poetry, not prose. It's its own category.
Dude, what is it? Like, give me the what is it?
It's its own. It's its own type of style.
So let me get this straight. The Quran makes up its own style and then says you gotta follow this style to say you from God.
No, but it's both linguistically and literally, is unique. So I mean, challenging them people to make a surah like that, because you guys think it's lies, right? Anyone could have done it. So the challenge is there for them people. Go ahead, try and do it.
Okay, I will say the Gospel of John, the Arabic Gospel of John, fulfills this criteria. Now, tell me how it doesn't.
The Arabic what?
Arabic Gospel of John fulfills all the criteria necessary. Can you tell me what criteria it does not fulfill?
I don't believe it fulfills the criteria.
Okay, what criteria does it not fulfill?
What are you speaking about? The criteria of what? The style or...
Bro, what you think we talking about? The criteria for the challenge.
For the challenge?
Yes.
So the criteria. Do you know what the criteria is?
I don't know. That's what I've been asking this whole time. All you said was some random style.
The criteria is to produce a chapter like it and equal in literary excellence, equal in meaning and content, equal in impact.
Okay, I believe the Gospel of John fulfills that.
Use classical Arabic language.
Okay, Arabic Gospel of John.
I don't believe that it is classical Arabic language.
You don't think the Gospel of John was ever written in classical Arabic?
If you can read that, then you can read the Quran in Arabic.
Okay, so then what's the difference? Why does it not fulfill the criteria?
So no one has, not even the Gospel of the Arabic thingy.
Not even the Gospel of the Arabic thingy.
John.
All right, thanks for coming up, bro. I've had enough fun now. You don't know what the frick you talking about. Next. Lord have mercy.
What's up, Nick?
What's going on?
Hey, did Jesus ever say worship him?
Yeah.
Before John or Paul?
I mean, before John or Paul. Paul was. I don't know what you mean by before Paul, because Paul had the earliest epistles written. So I don't know what you mean by before Paul.
All right. You can use Paul.
So yes, he did.
Show me.
When he said that he was the Alpha and the Omega, and he said to follow me. In Revelation 22:13. And make sure after you read it, you come back to the screen, because I can't, Gabriel, thank you for the $2 super chat on YouTube. The New Testament's not an update. Books are not apps. Real. W Gabriel, man. Now you could burn it 4 wheels up on that road. Did you read it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It says it's not a reliable source.
Says who?
Search it up. It literally says it.
What evidence is there it's not a reliable source? What?
It says it's not a valid verse.
Who says it's not a valid verse?
Revelation 23:13, not a valid verse.
No,
Literally.
Revelation 22:13. Y'all be pissing me off today, bro.
Oh, my bad. I forgot you can't hear me when I'm off screen. All right. What does it mean by Alpha or Omega?
It means that he's the beginning and the end.
In what sense?
Alpha is the first letter in the Greek alphabet. Omega is the last letter in the Greek alphabet.
No, but like in what sense? How does that
Meaning he has no
describe-
beginning and no end.
No, but like how does that say hey, worship me? When did he ever
He's saying, because he's calling himself
worship
God,
me?
because only God is the Alpha and the Omega. Only God is the
I don't
beginning.
think he's
and the end.
ever called himself God.
Can anyone else call themselves the first and the last besides God?
Bro, he's not God.
Can anyone else call themselves the first and the last besides
You're asking
God?
Muslims why they should join Christianity.
Just asking a
right?
question. Can anyone else call themselves the first and the last besides God?
Yeah, God.
Okay. I said besides God.
Okay, God, not Jesus.
I said
Jesus
besides God. I said, can
Yeah,
anyone
but in
else?
your eyes.
Wait, do you
Jesus
not
as
know
your
what besides
God, right?
mean?
In your eyes, Jesus is your God, right?
Bro,
He's a human.
oh my
How
gosh.
can a
I'll
human-
ask one more
how can
time.
you
I
praise
want
a
you to
human?
actually listen clearly. Can
All right,
anyone
when
else?
you pass away, when you
I'll use
pass
a different
away and
word.
you
Wait,
see
I'll use a
Jesus,
I'll use a different
when you
word,
pass
bro.
away and you see Jesus, he's
Wait,
gonna be like, "You're not
chill.
gonna
I don't
kiss
want to have
thy
to mute
cheek."
you, bro. Chill. I'll use a different word to make it easier for you. Can
Bro, you're
anyone
kinda
else?
brainwashed, Nick. I'm not gonna
Can
lie,
anyone
bro.
else other than God call themselves the first and the last?
Bro, I want you to show me in the Bible where it says,
Okay, I'll give you one more chance. I'll
worship
literally
me.
give you one more chance. Can anyone else other than God call themselves the first and the last?
No, he's not God.
So then why did he call himself the first and the last?
Where?
What do you mean where? I just showed you the verse.
No, where?
Revelation 22:13. What the frick were you doing when you were off the screen if it wasn't looking for that verse?
Listen to your chat, bro.
Revelation 22:13 doesn't say that? You want to bet? You want to bet?
It says the first and the last, the beginning and the end.
Oh, so he does call himself the first and the last.
Wait. How does that prove he's God? Explain to me
Oh,
where
I'll show you how. Okay, great. I'll explain. You want me to explain? I'll explain. Because you admitted nobody else other than God can call themselves the first and the last. Therefore, if you call yourself the first and the last, you're calling yourself God. And he called himself the first and the last.
Bro, so does the Quran. The Quran literally says Allah is the first and the last. He's the creator of creators.
Because Jesus is God. Are you seriously not? Are you
Jesus before the planet? Explain that. Who was Jesus before the planet? Where was Jesus?
He was still the Son.
Where?
The same place that God was in heaven.
Bro, where? Before
heaven.
Okay, so you're telling me the Son came down and created earth? Who created earth?
Jesus, that's what it says. Colossians chapter 1. It says Jesus created all things.
Oh my God, you're actually delusional, bro.
What's delusion about me giving you a verse? He left. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of crazy, bro, but I'm glad that y'all can see, like, the IQ of some of these people in this religion is so low. It's like, it's very like worrisome. Like, I don't know how they actually function on a day-to-day basis. Like, I don't know how they wake up and are able to brush their teeth. I'm gonna be honest. Genuinely, I don't know how they wake up and brush their teeth. I don't know. Hello?
Hello.
What's going on?
I just want to go back to one thing that you said earlier on about how you want to prove let's say the Quran or the Bible is real. Just a question: how would you prove the Bible is real?
What do you mean by real?
Well, true.
We just use things like prophecies, for instance.
So you use things like prophecies, for example.
Yeah.
But then the Quran has prophecies as well. So does that still
Like what?
does that not make that true?
Like what? Can you show the prophecy?
Okay. So what I'm saying, that's again. I asked you a question and you're
yes. If the
deflecting.
Quran has true prophecies, then it's true. Now, can you show me the prophecies?
Okay, there we go. Then that's fine. Great. No problem.
Show me the true prophecies.
You can accept that then, yeah.
If you show me the true prophecies, yeah, go ahead.
Again, I'm not talking about the prophecies. I'm just asking you a question. Why are we going straight like?
Because you said if the Quran has true prophecies, then it's true. I said sure. So now, can you show me if it has true prophecies?
Same thing. Okay, the world was created in 7 days.
Where the frick does the Quran say that?
What do you mean, where the frick does the Quran say that?
Where does the Quran say the world was created in 7 days?
No, I'm talking about the Bible there.
So what are you
That's what it
talking
says
about,
there.
bro? I asked what prophecy the Quran has.
Yeah, so I'm asking you, what prophecies does the Bible have?
Bro, you literally just brought up Islam and says, okay, if the Quran...
Well, I asked you...
am I tripping, bro?
I think so. But anyway...
You just brought up the Quran and says, so if the Quran has true prophecies, then it's true. Did you not say that?
Yeah, I did say that.
Okay, so you said... So now I'm just asking you, can you back up your claim that the Quran has true prophecies?
But again... the same way that the Bible has prophecies. Like, you just said that, innit?
You brought up the Quran. You brought it up, so I'm just asking, can you show me?
I don't understand. I asked a simple question, yeah? About how do you prove that the Bible is true? You said by prophecies. So I said, okay, cool. So if the Quran has prophecies, does that make it true? You said,
yes,
yeah.
Yes, and I asked you, is there prophecies in the Quran that are true?
Yes.
Can you show me them?
What type of prophecy would you like to know? Like
any of them, just a specific prophecy, any of them.
Okay. Well, Mary birthed Jesus without a man.
That's your prophecy?
Well, that's prophecy, isn't it? I'm just saying that same thing.
Oh, it's the prophecy that was literally in the Bible 600 years prior. Are you dead serious? Like, are you dead? Like, how do you wait? Do you know how to make your bed in the morning?
No. Are you contradicting yourself? Because that prophecy is in the Quran, right?
A prophecy is something new, not something you write down from 600 years ago. Bro, a prophecy is not something that happened 600 years ago. What do you think a prophecy is?
Huh?
What do you think a prophecy is?
I asked you, innit? I said, what's a prophecy?
I'm not... Bro, what? I just asked you, what is a prophecy? What is a prophecy?
I don't know, man. You tell me, what's a prophecy?
Bro said, never mind. Bro, nah, there's no way y'all know how to make your bed in the morning. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way y'all know how to make y'all bed. There's no way y'all can even possibly put one foot over the next, bro, and walk in the morning. There's no way. Dog, this literally cannot be. Like, this literally can't be. There's no way.
Hey, Nick.
What's going on?
South Europe, so poor English, but I'll do my best.
Okay.
Should I answer the question on the screen?
Yeah.
My answer is statues. The statues, you know?
You're not a Christian because of statues?
Yes. You don't understand that concept?
No, why would that make you not a Christian?
Well, you probably read the Bible. You know what it says about statues, right?
What does it say about statues in the Bible?
Statues like idols.
Yeah, it
You
says not
understand?
to idolize statues. Where the frick does it? Where do Christians idolize statues?
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Have you been to a church?
Yes. You think because a place has statues, that means you idolize them?
Bro, I live amongst Christians. I see what they do every day.
You think that they make the statues their god?
I live close to Catholics. I can only speak about their practices.
Okay, what's an idol?
Hold on, I was not finished with my sentence. And the Catholics that I live with here, they literally cry, pray to, like even leave gifts to statues of Maryam, you know. She's not even God according to them.
If you
but
kiss
they
a
do that.
statue, is that worshiping it?
So you have probably read the Bible, and
If
you
you
know what
kiss a
it says.
statue, is that worshiping it?
You know what it says about these things.
If you kiss a statue, is that worshiping it?
Well, there are many acts that could be classified as worship.
Great, I asked about
For example,
kissing. Is kissing a statue worshiping it?
kissing a statue worshiping it.
Yes.
Depends on if you're trying to worship the statue.
Okay, great.
Maybe you just like statues. It was a joke. It went over your head.
Don't quit your day job to become a comedian, bro.
So
is
what do you
kissing a
think- what do you
statue
think?
is kissing a statue worshiping?
It depends on your intention. Maybe you get turned on by statues. In that case, no.
Something really up with y'all. Like there's something really wrong. Like it's something really wrong with like the last like 5 guests, dog. I don't know what's going on with y'all. I really don't. There's something really up with y'all, bro. Okay, this next person is not connecting. Drop him, Nick. Oh, I already did. No need to fear. Hello? Hello? You sound quiet. I can't hear you.
My phone's turned all the way up. Can you hear me now?
Nah, you still sound like you far away from your phone.
Okay. Well, we'll try this again because I can't fix it.
Yeah, maybe if you like get some headphones or something, bro. I'm not sure what's going on though. But you can come back though, and I'll let you back up.
I think should I like let the guy come back up again?
What? Nah, you good. No, you good. Go ahead.
So the reason why I'm like not anymore is because I saw a lot of hypocrisy in like the standard, like in applying things to Islam, and that's like is something which really maybe like pulled me away from the faith.
What pulled you away from the faith?
Hypocrisy in the standards which Christians, like debaters or even like pretty much everyone used on like Islam.
Like what?
For example, they say when a Muslim, for example, claimed, Muhammad is prophesied in the Bible, the Christian suddenly said, well, look at the context of it. Like, look at the context of John 14 or Deuteronomy 18. But when I read the Gospel of Matthew, it made a prophecy, like it said it fulfilled a prophecy in Hosea 11:1, but the context can't be applied to Jesus. So that's also like something which threw
So the
me off.
context can't be applied to Jesus?
No, because in Hosea 11:1 it says that Israel worshipped and sacrificed things for Baalan. And if Matthew says that,
Israel doesn't mean all true Israelites. It just mean people in Israel.
okay, hold on. Let me read the passage. So hold on, let me get the NRSV. Gospel of Matthew, chapter 2, verse 5. It says, and calling together all the chief priests and scribes of the people, he inquired of them where the Messiah was to be born. They told him in Bethlehem of Judea, for so it had been written by the prophet. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, it's verse 15. Sorry, my bad. It says, and remained there until the death of Herod. This was to fulfill what had been spoken by the Lord through the prophet, out of Egypt I have called my son. That's Matthew chapter 2, verse 15. And it's quoting Hosea 11:1. Hold on, let me get it. In Hosea chapter 11, verse 1, it says, when Israel was a child, I loved him, and out of Egypt I called out my son. The more I called them, the more they went from me. They kept sacrificing to the Baals and offering incense to idols. And so basically, when a lot of times I looked at Christians like saying, there are no prophecies of Muhammad, because look at the context. But when I read the Gospel of Matthew, he doesn't even like consider context to be important in prophecy.
Wasn't okay. Okay. So God is saying he's the one to call his son out of Egypt, right?
Yes.
So then it says right after that, and they called him, or they called them. Who's the they?
No, the more I called them, the more they went from me.
No, it says they. I can show you the Hebrew. If you like, I can show you the Hebrew.
What does the Hebrew say?
It says as they called them.
So the context is Israel the nation, or right?
Yeah, the context is when it says as they called them. That's different than when it's talking about God calling his son out of Egypt. As they called them, so they went from them. I'm asking, who is the them there?
Could you please repeat that?
As they called them, so they went from them.
Yeah.
Who's the they?
God? No,
God is the they?
Hold on, this is kind of confusing me right now.
I know it is. Or you gotta actually read it, bro. That's my point.
The more I call them, the more they went from me. It's referencing Israel.
Okay, it's referencing Israel. So it's not talking about the Messiah or anything like that, sacrificing to Baal. It's talking about the Israelites that were sacrificing to Baal. Has nothing to do with the previous thing where it's talking about him calling his son out of Egypt. Now it's switching and talking about Israel.
But it says, when Israel was a child, I loved him, and out of Egypt I called my son. So it's referencing Israel as the son. And
no.
It's in this verse it says that Israel, the same Israel, sacrificed to the Baals, but then Matthew connects it. That's my problem.
Because there's dual fulfillment.
What do you mean dual fulfillment?
Prophecies have dual fulfillment.
Could you elaborate, please?
Yeah, that basically means that thank you for the gifts, by the way, everyone who's been gifting. Aisha, Ao, Hannah. Yeah, so there can be dual fulfillment. So one prophecy can basically be fulfilled in two different ways, right? So one prophecy can be fulfilled in a way, for example, of the Old Testament, right, talking about the sons of Egypt, while it can also be fulfilled in the New Testament in an ultimate fulfillment, is what we call it.
Well, how does that like help the context?
Because it's going to be dual fulfillment. So one of them is going to be talking about Israel. The other one is going to be talking about Jesus. So we would have no issue with this.
Hold on, that makes no sense for me. So it's referencing Israel, the nation. But Matthew says it's referencing Jesus.
Because so who is the ultimate fulfillment of the son of Egypt? Or of the son of the Israelites? Who is the ultimate fulfillment of the Israelites? It's the Messiah, right?
Yes, but it says that Israel, the nation, sacrificed to the Baal.
And they did. Fantastic. Now, the question is, when it says he called his son out of Egypt, it is talking about Israel. But who is the ultimate fulfillment of Israel? Who the dual fulfillment to be talking about? You already admitted it's the Messiah. So who the ultimate fulfillment is going to be Christ, which is why Matthew talks about this.
Yeah, but
because he's talking about the ultimate fulfillment.
No, but it's still referencing the exact same thing. What do you mean ultimate fulfillment, that or the Messiah?
It's not talking about the exact same thing. One is talking about specifically Israel as a whole, while the other is talking about the Messiah of Israel.
So at the beginning it says when Israel was a child, and then it says the more I called them, the more they went from me. So it's constantly referring to Israel, the nation.
Right, I just agreed. It's talking about Israel. This is why I asked you who is the ultimate fulfillment of Israel. We agree. It is Israel. But there is an ultimate fulfillment to Israel that the Old Testament talks about, which is the Messiah. That's what Matthew is talking about, is the ultimate fulfillment of Israel. So it's not a misinterpretation. He's referring to the ultimate fulfillment.
So when you're saying Israel, the nation, I would expect a representation. And if Israel, the nation, worship Baal, I would also expect a representation of that. But since you believe Jesus didn't do anything in that, like any sense like that, how can you connect it?
Yeah, because the ultimate fulfillment isn't supposed to sin like the nation did. He's supposed to be the perfect fulfillment of that nation. So he's not going to be doing the things that nation did. That's literally the entire point of the Messiah.
Yeah, low-key, that makes no sense for me.
Yeah. Do you have any questions? Other questions or anything?
Do I have any other? Right now, no.
All right. Well, if you have any other questions, man, feel free to come back.
Thank you, man.
Yep,
Have a nice day.
All right, have a nice day. All right, let's see. Pray for that, man. How long have I been live? Is it still raining out? I don't even know. You got a question? What's your question? What is your question? Bro, I feel like I have to sneeze.
Yo, what's going on?
What's up?
I have a question about the Bible.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not a Muslim, neither a Christian. I just believe in God. I mean, all right. So, do you know like Daniel 2 and 7 and 9?
Daniel 2 and what?
And 7 and 9.
Yeah, the 3 chapters. Yeah.
Have you read them before? Oh, okay. So I want to ask about the little horn in Daniel 7. Do you believe that? Yeah. Basically, the full chapter. It's talking about the first beast and the little horn going out from there.
So which horn are you asking about? You said the little horn?
Yeah, the little horn that's coming out from the fourth beast.
What about it?
Do you believe that it's the Antichrist?
Yeah.
So you believe that Rome, in a sense, will revive in the end times?
I mean, I think that Rome is still intact in a sense.
Do you believe that Rome still exists today?
Does it not?
Like, I'm talking about the ancient Rome. Are you saying like the
talking about
descendants?
ancient Rome? Yeah, I mean ancient Rome in the sense they don't exist, but ancient Rome in a sense still always existed, right? Because
Yeah, so
like
I'm just trying to
the
understand.
Roman Empire still has remnants today.
Yeah, okay. So basically, my question is that basically this fourth beast will be revived by the descendants of the Romans, which the little horn, which is the Antichrist, will rise up from that part in the end times, right?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm just asking you to confirm this because I was,
What verse are you talking about? Just tell me the verse.
Yeah, Daniel 7:7-8. Basically, it says that he saw a fourth beast and a little horn, a little one came up among them, right?
Alright, I'll read it.
It's, Muslims claim that it's
And you're not a Muslim?
Constantine. No, I'm not. I was debating a Muslim about it.
So you would agree like Muhammad's a false prophet, right?
Yeah, he is a false prophet, sure.
Alright, good.
So yeah, so the reason I'm
So
asking
after
you about
you
this,
said 7 and 8, right?
What?
You said 7 and 8? Verse 7 and 8?
Yeah, Daniel 7, verse 7 and 8.
All right. After this, I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, exceedingly strong. It had huge iron teeth. It was devouring, breaking into pieces, and trampling the residue with its feet. It was different from all the beasts that were before it, and had 10 horns. I was considering the horns, and there was I was considering the horns, and there was another horn, a little one coming up from among them, before whom 3 of the first horns were plucked out by its roots, and there in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking pompous words. So what about it?
Yeah, so the Muslim was claiming that it's Constantine, because the Ottomans, destroyed Constantinople, which proves Islam, but this is false. I mean, he asked me a question saying, what is the evidence that, according to Daniel, the Roman Empire will be revived at the end times? And what is the evidence that it actually still exists today? So both claims.
Yeah, I don't know if that would be Constantine.
Yeah, no, I believe it's not Constantine. I don't believe it is Constantine. I'm just asking. He said, what is the evidence that, according to Daniel, that the Roman Empire still exists today? And if you don't hold to that position, what is the evidence that the Roman Empire will revive in the end times?
Well, yeah, if we're asking if the Roman Empire still exists, I mean, the answer to that question, because it just depends on what view you take. But if you're taking the view that it still exists, you could just say because it exists in virtue of Roman Catholicism, right, in the Vatican.
Wait, are you saying that the Antichrist will come from the Roman Catholic Church?
No, it's not what I said. I said if you take the view that Rome still exists,
Sorry.
that's the view to take.
All right.
It would be Roman Catholicism is the virtue that exists. We don't know where the frick the Antichrist is gonna come from. We don't got a clue.
I mean, it said from the fourth beast, basically, so from the Romans.
Yeah,
the
but like
of
where within that we do not know.
Yeah, okay. And considering Daniel 9, like how do you calculate the exact timing of the Messiah being rejected there?
Oh, I forget. Man, I did the whole math on this actually one time. I think I have like physical notes on it. There's a website you can go on that because it's different. So like Jewish days, obviously, I'm sure you know. Jewish
I already
days.
have it, but I already actually calculated it, and it ends up being, I think, 32, 33 AD. But I wanted to make sure that it's actually right.
Well, I've done the math before.
So
I know it's right. I've done the math before. I know it's right. But obviously, you just have to do the math in virtue of first you have to look at the Jewish calendar and understand the Jewish calendar, and then from there you can do the math from there. But I've done the math before because I did a whole study on it one time. But yeah, so it's definitely right. It just
I already did it. Actually, it ended up being like 32, 33 AD.
Yeah,
that's like what that's it. But my main question was the little horn. That's it. I mean, is there like I saw Irenaeus commentating about it, and he also agrees that it's the Antichrist. He connects it to Revelation, the same Antichrist that Christ will defeat in the end times. So, is there like another church father that agree on this? Like, do you know any of them?
I would read. Have you read Chrysostom on it?
Not really. No, I only read.
I would read Chrysostom because first of all, he's known as having the best interpretation of the scriptures, pretty much of anyone. So I would see if he has anything. And plus, he has tons of homilies on the Old Testament. So
yeah. I mean, I'll search him right now, and I'll leave you to debate like another Muslim. So
yeah,
that was my question.
Feel free to DM me. Let me know.
Yeah, thank you, man.
All right, take care. All right. All right, yo. How long have I been live, bro? 8:01. All right. Well, I'm gonna go and hop off now, guys. I've been live for over 2 hours. Not long. I've been live for over 2 hours. I don't know what you're talking about. I appreciate y'all hopping on. I'm gonna go ahead and hop off now. I'll be live again on Tuesday. Hey, you better get off. You're weird. What the frick? You're so weird. You said stay on. Isho. You lost. So yeah, I'm gonna hop off though. Hey, make sure y'all come back on Tuesday though. If y'all make sure y'all also join the Patreon. Guest request. See, how is Dawa Solution say I'm running? I told him like 6 times to come to TikTok. God bless you all. Join the Patreon, link in bio. Subscribe to the YouTube. And I will see y'all next time, man. Catch y'all later.